Communication. The other skill I've been improving over the past 2 years is communication. Communication is the imparting or exchanging of information or news. Since this is new tech, communication means much more than just exchanging information. In this case, communication is also clearly projecting your voice and speaking confidently. If it is an oral, the goal is still to express and trade information clearly. For all of my artifacts, I will be focusing on oral communication. This is the same project as I had in my collaboration video. It's the same Success at New Tech project, so I will not be going into how the assignments worked. However, I will be talking about my progress throughout it. My first rehearsal was the dress rehearsal. I had a script on a page that I read off. I was rocking, I was shaking, and I stuttered. I mixed up my script and I read the information out of order. We didn't even bother to check if the slides were all ready to be presented, meaning when our slides stopped working, we had no backup plan. So we spent a good minute or two clicking the remote at various locations, with desperation and panic slowly seeping into our expressions. The air was really The air was really awkward and had this really bad tension that you just didn't want to be in, and it was absolutely pathetic. Since this was the first project of the year, I feel this is the best representation of how I was when I started oral communication. A year later, one of my first oral projects of my sophomore year gave a better example of a better example of what proper communication should be. This was in Block 1. It was taught by Mr. Peterson, and it was called the Great Melting Pot Project. I was placed in a team of 4 people. When starting, we made a team plan, individual charter, SARS research, cultural analysis, outline for skit, a presentation, collaboration evaluation, and a reflection. Team plans and individual charters are normal and standard for most projects. SARS research is a process of summary and assessment, reflection of a source. Cultural analysis was just combining the overall team research into one large and well-formed document. Outline for a skit is exactly what it sounds like, same with the presentation. Collaboration evaluation is evaluating the effort my teammates took to contribute, along with a few other aspects that are still relevant to the The reflection was was an assignment that allowed us to discuss how we felt we did well, didn't do well, need to improve, and so on. My team did Punjab, India. We had a skit that was about a family with financial issues, immigrating to the United States. We tried to incorporate the era into the setting. In this skit, I practiced my script far more often than I typically do. I actually succeeded in not reading off a script and instead memorized the lines. My role specifically didn't address the immigration problems, but I was there to help express a family that was immigrating, looking for a better life. I felt that I was much more confident in this than any previous presentation. I made sure I knew what to say. I still had to quiver my voice. You could distinctly hear my nervousness. Despite these minor things, I said my lines correctly, in order, and I didn't ramble. I didn't even relax, and my nerves were screaming just for me to stop and run off camera. I did my job, and I did not enjoy the experience. And I know it's fair for some people to dislike presenting. The reason it's weird for me is that I enjoy expressing information about things I'm passionate about. I still need to work on being comfortable with presentations, or at least have fun while presenting, which is what I managed to achieve in my most recent project, the What's the Deal with West Egg project. Alright. It was taught in Block 1 by Mr. Peterson / Pemberton, and it was the What's the Deal with West Egg project. I will be skipping what the assignments were because I have already discussed this in the collaboration video. This was the most recent project that involved presenting orally. In the beginning, when I presented, I'd get in this mindset that I was in a gladiator battle of some sort, that if I messed up it once, it'd be game over. But I'm retraining myself to know that it isn't that big of a deal. I'm learning to calm down and think of it as just expressing information, which is exactly what it is. I still need to work on my confidence. I don't trust my own abilities, and I expect myself to fail. That isn't a good mindset. In this presentation, I stumbled in the beginning, but I was able to shake off the nervousness and perform. Once I finished my monologue, the rest of the lines got very easy to deliver. I normally don't have fun when presenting or doing a project. I genuinely had fun throughout this project, though, throughout this entire experience. I apologize, the minutes will be short on this thing.